Hey guys, Judy, and I have a Valentine's Day process video for you guys, and I'm using a Paper Smooches Happy Camper stamp and also this Pink by Design. Um, it's a bear stamp, I forget the title, and then the Lawn Fawn Silly Valentine. So, oh, bear hugs, that's the Pink by Design. And I'm sorry, it's a regular A2 size card for my husband. So I already have the card base, which is just half of an 8.5 by 11, and then the inner mat is 5.25 by 4. And so I'm going to do like a landscape scene, or just do like a free form of a landscape, if that makes sense. So that's just like a craft or sand paper, and it is textured a little, and I'm cutting that well, I'm thinking right now I'm going to do it a vertical card, but you'll see with trial and error I switched to a horizontal card. So I'm just free forming like a hill or ground. So once I actually put the layout of the stamps, I realize I don't have much room to work with if it's vertical, because the bear is horizontal and it's kind of big, including the sign, which is pretty big. So if you see, kind of looks squished a little. So I play around with the placement, and I think I like the horizontal better. So I recut the paper, and I decided to do 3.5, make it a little more ground. And then it's 5.25 because that's the width of the white cardstock mat. And I just kind of freeform a hill. And then now I place everything down again. And I'm like, where is my sign stamp? This, you know, the little sign. I'm looking all over, and it's stuck to my trimmer. How many times has that happened to you guys? It happens to me all the time. I'm missing the stamp that I lay out. That was very frustrating. I thought, oh no, is it on the floor? Where could it be? Always, well, make sure you check your trimmer or anything you use. So I'm looking through all my Cuttlebug folders. I went to more texture, kind of like gravel, or I guess, what is it in the woods? I don't know. Some sand, or so I'm looking through my Cuttlebug folders. I keep it in a shoebox, like one of those photo boxes you get at Michael's. And so run it through my Cuttlebug. Since it's a embossing folder, it's going to be the A plate and 2 B plates. So I decided to go with that one. Kind of looks like pebbles. I usually use that one for fish, like the scale on a fish. FYI, I don't know what it's called, but that's what I use. And so I'm going to do some Copic coloring. So I choose, and since bear, I'm going to make this bear a brown bear. I use the Rich Cocoa Memento ink in Rich Cocoa, and I just put that like cutting foam piece underneath just to make sure I get a good image. And I've been doing that recently, just to make sure I get a good impression. And I'm using that Pink by Design stamp to my honey bear, and that is what I call my husband, honey bear. So I thought it was like the perfect stamp to use, and it fit perfectly in that sign, that wood sign. So the ink I used, I think I used Memento because I didn't use my go-to VersaFine because I was going to color. So for the bear, I'm really going to speed this up, but I used E23, 25, E25, and E27. So I start with E23, a light layer, and then I go medium. And I don't think I go to 27. Maybe I just use 2 shades. And then for that one, I used 23. For the mouth part, I used 23 and then lighter. and I use the same colors for the sign. And I think the green I use like GO5. And then the nose, I think I used 27 on the nose, E27. So I'm just going to fussy cut super fast. I sped this up super fast because I don't think you guys want to watch me fussy cut in real time because it does take a little longer. I think this whole process took maybe 45 minutes, which is a little long for a card for me, but I think I had a lot of like trial and error, like mistake redos, so you'll see later on too what else I redid or had trouble with. So it's this part, and I found that cute roller stamp. I think it's in American Crafts. I found it at Tuesday Morning, and it has hearts all over it. And I'm going to do, I had like a stencil I could have used in the back, but I wanted to try this roller stamp, brayer stamp. I don't know what they call it, but you'll see I do a lot of trials of this. That first impression looked nice. Then I think the second two, I don't know what happened. I don't think I inked it up enough, and I think I rolled it forward and back, so it got like a double image. So I did the other side, this one, and then the first roll was horrible, and then the last roll was even worse. The spacing was horrible because I had space between, and it looked like lines. I wanted it to be more cohesive, and it did not look like that. And there were spots that were really faded, and you see the edge got over inked. So here I go. I'll cut up another 4 by 5 1/4. Bless you, buddy. 4 by 5 1/4. And there's a tissue or whatever. And so, you know, I tried again on a new sheet. And then I think I just give up, and I'm like, this is going to be my last try. And it was decent. I know the seam part, the ground part, was going to be on the bottom half, so I just did the upper half. And I know it's smudged right over there, but that's where the sign's going to be. And I was like, I'm going to stick with that, and that's what I'm going to do, because that was pretty much my last try anyway. So definitely for embossed pieces, there's no such thing as overdoing it with adhesive, because those are tough to adhere. Without it, you know, there's a big chance that embossed items would fall off if you don't use enough adhesive. And I'm using my foam tape that I get from Big Lots to pop up the sign and the bear. I love how it ended up. You wouldn't think that the hearts was such a hard, I had such a hard time with the hearts in the back. And like I said, you could easily use a stencil or a bigger background stamp, but I was determined to use that roller date thing. Not roller date, the roller stamp, brayer heart stamp, whatever. And the inside I'm using the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment from my Silly Valentine, the Lawn Fawn stamp sets. And just always I use my VersaFine for my sentiments. I've been trying to be better about cleaning my stamps, so I had picked that stamp cleaner at Hobby Lobby. And I love putting the same image from the outside on the inside of the card. And then I'm trying to see what else I can use as a sentiment. And I'm using that Pink by Design stamp set again, Bear Hugs. And it says, I love you, and I put it on the top. So that's what it looks like. And then, of course, I have to add some Wink of Stella. I do clear on the red hearts. Just randomly. I don't do all of them. That would take forever. And then I break out my Spica pens. I don't know how to pronounce that. They're glitter pens, and I'm just outlining the "To My Honey Bear," the sentiment. And then, I mean, it didn't really, you see a little glitter, but I wanted more, a little more glitter. So I couldn't leave well enough alone, of course, and then I had to use my black Wink of Stella, and that had like a loose strand sticking out of the brush, and I had to cut it off, and because it was just like a stray piece that was kind of messing things up. But anyway, I knew I was gonna like mess up or something with the letters, but it came out okay. And then more Wink of Stella on the eye and the plant, and that's my finished card. Hope you guys like it. And my husband actually loved the card. He said, "Did you get the stamp made just for me?"